Hello, viewers. Today we have with us Ms. Preetika Singh. She is the postgraduate in Global Business Management and presently the CEO of Prayag Group of Hospitals. Welcome, Ms. Singh.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, pleasure is all ours. So, tell us about yourself a bit. Where were you born and brought up? Your education before you did your global business management. Tell us all
So
about
I
it.
was um, I was born in Allahabad and I was brought up in Noida.
Okay.
And I did my schooling from Delhi, and then
Mhm.
I did my graduation also from Delhi, and then I went for my masters to
Mhm.
London. There I
Mhm.
did my masters, yeah. But joined the family business part time at a very early age, just after my class 12th board exams, because
Mhm.
my parents were medicos and
Mhm.
I was a non-medico. So, when you have parents, those who are doctors, so they also want their kids to be doctors. But,
Yeah.
studying science was just not my cup of tea. So, which is why I never thought of becoming a doctor. So, when you join your family business, when you have hospital business, and your parents are heading it up, so they also look up to you like, I am a doctor, my kids has to be doctors, and then only they will be able to handle it. Yeah. So my
Mhm.
parents used to think that she should be a doctor to run and handle the whole business, but I think it was not in the fortune for me to become a doctor because then I never liked science.
Okay. That would have been my next question because normally doctors, parents mean doctor kids.
Certainly, absolutely. There was a huge pressure on me since childhood that I
Mhm.
have to be a doctor. And since,
Mhm.
in my early age, I was 100% convinced with,
Mhm.
because my dad is a orthopedician and an ENT surgeon. So I used to think that, okay, I'll be like my dad, like an orthopedic surgeon, a female orthopedic surgeon. I used to think like that. But
Mhm.
later on, I was introduced to a subject called entrepreneurship in my class 11th and 12th, which
Okay.
completely changed my whole idea that what I want to do in
Mhm.
life. And plus, as a child, when I used to look up to my mother, I always used to, I never had the term, a definition that what is she doing. But I always knew that I want to do what she's doing. She was a part of the administration and the management, the business
Mhm.
expansion and everything. So
Mhm.
somewhere I knew what I wanted to do, but I did not had the vision, or you can say the term that this is what I want to be, which got more clear in my class 11th and 12th.
So, how did you handle that parental pressure of becoming a doctor, taking science, and then joining in
Well,
Delhi?
I actually Well, I had to make a lot of plans, plan A, plan B, plan C to convince my father. Because
Mhm.
being the eldest in the family, my father wanted, by hook or by crook, that I should be a doctor. But
Mhm.
I was opposite. I was like, sorry,
Mhm.
I don't want to be a doctor. I can't study science.
Mhm.
So I convinced my dad in my class 11th and 12th. I took
Mhm.
humanities, arts. I told him that, Dad, I will be an IS officer.
Okay.
And so which is why I'm taking arts, and then later on I'll do my BA honors or BA pass, and then I'll prepare for my civil services exams. So my father was pretty much convinced, so he
Okay.
allowed me to take arts and study humanities.
Mhm.
But then when I passed my class 12th, I was more because I was always inspired by my mother, you know,
Mhm.
the way of her working, the way she do her things. Because dad, I knew that, he does typical patient comes, tell the problem, he writes the medicine, does the surgery. These are the typical. But I was very inspired by my mother because she was
Mhm.
in the management, she was in the administration, business expansion part. So then later
Mhm.
on, I'm like, what now? What next, Pritika? You convinced your
Mhm.
dad to do arts. Now, what's your next plan? So I joined business management college in Delhi,
Mhm.
and I told my dad that I want to be like my mother. I want to be like her. She's an entrepreneur. I want to be a
Mhm.
woman entrepreneur, and head the family business. He again didn't have any faith in me. He was like, I think you'll end up being a housewife after 5 years. And I
Okay.
was like, and I was in a stage that
Hmm.
let's not say anything, let's do and let the work say it all.
So did
So
it
it was,
dishearten you?
it
Did
did,
your
it
dad's
did.
words? Hmm.
It did. It did. Because, you know, a lot of times my dad's cousin, extended
Hmm.
family used to come and they used to ask me, Pritika, what are you doing? And I used to tell them that, you know, I'm doing entrepreneurship, I have business management studies subjects, I'm doing BSc in business management studies. So, you know, they used to look upon me as if I don't belong to them, you know, I belong to some other class.
Okay.
So yeah, because they were all doctors, they were all
Hmm.
engineers, civil services
Intellectuals.
students, intellectuals. Yeah, for them, entrepreneurship, business strategic planning, all this, it was new for them.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was quite
So did you
challenging.
have your, yeah, did you have your mom's support in that?
Well, my mom had faith in me
Hmm.
because my mom had faith in me because I always used to tell her that this is what I want to do. I want to follow
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and for a certain period of time, she thought, you know, I'm just you know, a small kid. After maybe few months or a year, I'll change my verdicts and all. But I never changed. I
Okay.
remember the day I had my 21st March was my last board exam in class 12th. And I remember it was Saturday, 23rd March, I was in my office. And I said, teach me, I want to learn.
Hmm.
So she said, so she was, my mother was very, very strict with me. She
Hmm.
said, don't think that you will get a post or a position of a CEO or a director in a plate. You have to earn it. Are you ready for it? I said, yes, I'm ready for it.
Hmm.
Because I want to learn what's my industry all about. Because I did business management studies. So I
Hmm.
wanted to work on the ground level. I worked as a manager, I worked as an executive. You know,
Hmm.
I used to sit on nursing stations with my staff, understand the things, you know, like how things happen. I did a lot of you know, short courses on hospital management also because
Okay.
yeah, my mother used to travel a lot to different
Hmm.
countries to understand the essence of how the hospital industry runs in other countries. So I used to
Hmm.
go along with her,
Okay.
and because I was always inspired by my mother, so I
Hmm.
wanted to, you know, work on every ground level and understand what this healthcare industry is all about. So for the starting for 3-4 years, I worked as an employee in my company
Okay.
under my managers, those who were
Hmm.
a part of the company from the past 15 years, 20 years.
You were
So
learning from them.
I was learning from them because being I was from a non-medical background, and my
Hmm.
parents were from a medical background. They started
Hmm.
everything from scratch.
Do,
So, you know,
okay. Do you think coming from a non-medical background, it made it tough for you to learn or to gain entry? Gain entry is obviously tough, but learning process was also tough.
I think when you are passionate about learning, when you feel
Hmm.
that you have to learn every minute, and every
Hmm.
person, every person, every situation can teach you something. You
Hmm.
know, when your learning doors are open, then
Hmm.
when you are at a receiving end, you learn a lot.
Hmm.
And the problem comes when your doors are closed to learning.
Hmm.
So I was always open because I was passionate about what my mother was doing. So I was passionate
Okay.
about the family business as well. That I want to
Hmm.
learn, I want to go to the depth and detail.
Hmm. So when did you take up the post of the chief executive officer? How
Well,
many
I
years did
had
it
to,
take you?
well, I had to do a lot of things
Hmm.
to convince my dad because I wanted my father to give me this post. You know, when you're
Okay.
working in a job, I think it's much more
Hmm.
easier to do, and so that your boss, you know, is convinced with you. But when you are working in your own family business where your parents are your boss, then I think
Hmm.
your standards and bar way too up high.
Hmm.
So I completed few projects that
Hmm.
company had aligned from the past few years and they were not able to complete it. And when I got
Okay.
into, I had to convince my father that please give me all these
Hmm.
projects. I will get it done
Hmm.
because I've done the management studies and all. So give me a chance. So it took me quite a lot of time to convince him to give me those projects. But my mother was convinced with me because she was in the management, and I did the management studies. So she was somehow convinced with me, but my dad wasn't, because he came from the school of thought that she's not a doctor, so she will not be able to do it. But then there's a saying that if opportunity doesn't knock the door, then you have to build the door so it knocks. So that's what I did with my father. Completed few projects, and one day my dad, he's like, "I'm convinced with you. I'm convinced with your
Okay.
studies. And here's your
Okay.
position." Though it took me 5 years. It
Uh-huh.
took me five
So, what were
years.
the projects? Would you mind talking about those?
Well, actually, when we started, the company had no connect with the branding. Company had no connect with the vision. So I changed the brand logo, the branding, and our company tagline is Seva Parmo Dharam. So I wanted my company to connect with that tagline so that the message goes to the wide audience that we are a hospital doing a business, but we are also connected to our roots, which is Seva Parmo Dharam. So I changed the logo, the tagline, the look and feel in the company, the interiors, and there were few land change for the upcoming hospital that the company was trying to get it changed from the government. So yeah, and I also took initiative in getting the free plastic surgery camp on board, so that the people can have the faith and brand that this is not just a hospital where you can go pay and get your operation, your services, and your disease cured. But this is also a brand where they can look upon for the free opportunities for surgeries. They can also look upon to us for the knowledge, because nowadays government is coming up with a lot of free benefits for the public, and they are not aware. So these minor changes I did, and I got the trust of
What?
my dad, the faith of my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you join, like formally as a CEO of the company?
Well, I joined in 2014 full time as a planning and strategy director. And in 2016, my dad handed over me the position of CEO.
Okay. So from 2016 to 2023 today, how has been your journey? Are you satisfied? Are you, or you think that there is still a lot to go?
Well, I am a kind of a person who's never satisfied.
Okay.
I believe in perfectionism and I believe in learning. So every day there's so much to learn about this industry. And, since back in 2016 and now we are in 2023, the way we work, the way we think, the way we do our, things, everything has changed. And
Tell
every
us a
day,
little more about it. The way
sorry?
you work. How did you tell us a little more about it? How did you change the way you work?
See, in the early years, what I learned in my undergrad and my postgrad college, I used to operate on those guidelines. But after 2016 until now, I think I have changed a lot, because working in India, studying abroad, you cannot leave your roots. So your business should reflect your culture, should reflect your Indian tradition in the business. So a lot of things have changed. Earlier, we were very fond of the corporate culture, but now we don't operate on the corporate culture. We emphasize our trainings more on the typical Indian culture of
Okay.
hospitality, because
Okay.
I personally believe that we should not, not even for even a second, we should leave our roots. And our Indian roots of hospitality is much, much, much different from the Western world and the corporate culture. Because
So does
the Indian
go ahead.
culture, connects not only the organization, the hospital, with the clients, with the patient, but it also creates a very friendly environment, very workable environment amongst the staff. That is very important.
So So does it have anything to do with the change of government at the state level and at the national level, if I may ask?
See, I think the government is already doing a lot of things for the general public, but the problem in the whole system is that they're not aware. So we, as a group of hospital, we also take an initiative in educating the people that
Okay.
these are the health benefits that you can avail, or these are the benefits that you can avail from the government for free of cost. So
Okay.
we've been also doing that. We do a lot of camps, and we also have an in-house team. Whenever somebody approaches us and has a problem in, paying for the medical
Okay.
services, we
Okay.
make sure we inquire, we counsel them, because a lot of people are eligible for a lot of government benefits like Ayushman Bharat. A lot of people come, they don't even know that they are eligible for ESIC policies. So we also
Okay.
educate them that you are already, eligible for a free health services. You don't have to worry. You don't have to pay for
You
anything.
okay? You started a section on that. Do you have a department where you educate, or it's just random
Yes,
things like?
we have a department. We have a specific department where all
Okay.
the government panels are there. So there is a specialized team for that. Every time anyone approaching them or whenever we go out and do a camp, we first take the history of the patient, that what all benefits they can get, and they don't have to worry
Okay.
about the expenses of the hospital, which is
Okay.
already taken care by the government of India.
Okay. So tell us more about the camps that you hold. Do you
See,
hold
we
them in
do.
Delhi NCR, or they are across the country?
So we are doing camps in Delhi NCR and in the UP, whole pan UP.
Okay.
We do our
Okay.
camps in small villages, small towns, where we feel that there is a lack of knowledge, because Ayushman Bharat is such a beautiful benefit by the government of India. A lot of people, they even have the card. Some of the people, they have applied for it, they have not been issued a card, and they are not even aware of such a huge benefit that is given by the government of India. So we do our camps, we do specialized camps where our team of doctors go, and also our team goes where they educate the people that you are eligible, how you can be eligible for a free treatment with the government of India. They're like, a private setup will do a free treatment for you, but you don't have to worry about any of your expenses. Everything will be borne by the government of India.
Yeah. So these are health camps where you educate people also on the sidelines about the schemes, right?
Yes, yes. We also do health camps in jails, in CAPF battalions, where there are huge number of these CRPF officers are there. They are far away from their families, and their mental health is hampered, because everybody wants to have a good job, a good
Mm.
house, close to their family, kids. But with
Yeah.
these with people in jails, they have done
Mm.
something wrong. They have done a
Mm.
crime. They have done a criminal activity, and they are behind the bar. So when they are in jail, they have a chance to improve themselves. So with this idea, we also go in different jails of UP, and we conduct meditation camps,
Okay.
and we organize a different type of seminars where they can get an essence that I have done something wrong. Now I'm in jail for certain years or whatsoever the time period is. Now I have a chance to improve. So whenever I have a chance to improve, whether I am in the jail or I'm outside the jail, so how I can be a better human being, live a life in peace. Same we do with the government of India, the CRPF. It's a huge organization of government. We also do it with the police. We do our meditation camps in police stations as well, because these people, they go with immense stress,
Stress. Yeah.
and suddenly they are on their duty and they get a stressful call or a message from their family. It becomes more stressful for them to operate.
So,
So we
so okay, okay, go ahead.
So whatever the camps we do, we always guide our patients that for more better treatment you can come visit us, get admitted, and whatever your treatment will be, we will do it when you are at Prayag.
You're talking about jails. You go to jails across the state of UP. Tell us more about it, because as a common man, and the picture of a jail is what we see in the media, in the TV serials, and in the films. Is it like that?
See, the atmosphere of a jail is a very dull and a very stressful atmosphere. If
Hmm.
it is a criminal or if it's a the staff at the jail, all of
Hmm.
them, they are going through immense stress because the kind of a life they live is very different to what the kind of life we live as an individual, because we live in a very free environment, right? But they have done a certain crime because of which they are behind the bars. So when we go then, when we approach to these jails, we approach them with the idea of that during their period in the jail, they can improve their livelihood, they can improve their mindset while being in the jail. They can do meditation, read some nice books that can be, give them a sense that, okay, awareness that I have done a crime. Now I have a chance in this life only to forgive myself and ask for forgiveness and be a better human.
How regular are you with the jail at the jails?
See, almost 6 to 7 times in a year we are doing this, because going in a jail we have to seek for approvals from the jailer, and there's a set formality that we have to do before approaching the jails. So 6 to 7 times in a year we have been approaching jails and all, and
And the
same with.
and the management is open to it. Uh,
Yes,
Welcome.
absolutely. They, in fact, even the staff, those who are there, working in the jails, they also go through immense stress because they have to take care of each and every criminal victim who's inside. If anything happens to anyone, they are the ones who's responsible. So they also get the essence, and a lot of time they also we also get the message that when is the next seminar you guys are doing, because sometimes there are some formalities and some rules and regulations that they all have to follow. So due to which we don't get the time too often, but 6 to 7 times in a year we visit wherever we get the opportunity.
So, coming back to the hospital, since the pandemic hit us, a lot of things have changed everywhere and drastically for the good in the healthcare industry. So, how has the Prayag Hospital kept up with it, and how do you think technology helps you?
See, technology has definitely helped us during the COVID, and in fact, in some aspects, I'm extremely grateful to COVID because the bond that we had, with the management, with the staff, the doctors, with the patient, that bond has got a lot of positive impact. You know, I feel the trust that the medical, our hospital industry had lost, we have regained that trust since COVID has come in our life. And definitely, technology has made the communication so faster and so easy that we don't have to wait for the person to come in our office, for the patient to come to the hospital, by a quick online appointment or a phone call appointment, people can get the solution to their problems. So I think our bond, technology, and COVID all has a very positive impact on the working of our hospitals.
So, during the time of the pandemic we were facing, There were virtual sessions, online sessions with the patients. So have you gone back to come back to the physical sessions, or both the modes are working simultaneously?
See, both are working simultaneously because there is a huge belief in the patient that
Mhm.
when I go to the doctor asks me few questions. 50% the patient feels that I am 50% relieved with my disease, you know. So that typical culture is still there with the people. So
Okay.
they want to visit the hospital.
Okay.
They want to visit
But
the hospital, but
you
there
have
are
the
few.
facility of you have the facility of virtual sessions also.
Yes, yes, yes. We have the facility of virtual sessions. We have the
Okay.
facility, but but the patient is like, no, give me time. I want to come and meet the doctor.
Meet- Yeah,
So that
that's true.
typical culture is still there. Yeah,
Hmm. Okay. So you
they feel
started. Hanji, bole.
they they feel they feel more satisfied when they enter the doctor's cabin.
Hmm. Personal
Yeah,
touch is there.
absolutely, absolutely.
So you also started the department of alternative medicines in the hospital.
Yeah, the Department of Holistic Healing, where we
Okay.
treat the disease holistically.
Mhm. Tell us more
So,
about it.
well, in this department, we work on the brain. We work on the brain pattern. We have few machines with us that tells us about we do a brain mapping, which tells us about that which part of the brain is, how much it is working, what's the sleep pattern, how much negative thinking is there, how much positive thinking is there, what
There
is
are
the stress
machines for that.
levels. Yes, so we have machines for that. It's called a
Okay.
brain mapping machine, which completely maps your brain.
Mhm.
So after that brain mapping, we design a program for the patient, depending upon what the problem is, what the physical problem is, and what the
Mhm.
mental problem is. Because sometimes there are patients, they have psychosomatic problems. The problem doesn't
Mhm.
exist physically, but it exists mentally, like
Mhm.
anxiety, depression. These are few problems, they exist mentally, emotionally, but they don't exist physically. There's no physical identity for these problems. Symptoms are
Mhm.
there definitely, but there's no physical identity for these problems.
Mhm.
So we believe in working on the brain waves.
Mhm.
We believe in calming down the mind, balancing the good hormones, and that
Mhm.
automatically cures a disease.
So, any patient that comes to you is like you do brain mapping for them, or there only a
We
few
do
of
brain
them are
mapping for every patient.
okay.
And first, we try to understand the belief of the patient. See, our
Okay.
therapies are also designed patient to patient. Like, if we have a patient from a rural background who cannot understand the essence of music therapy, who cannot understand the few of the Western world therapies, for them we design a different type of therapies. So it depends patient to patient, and it also depends on what is the ability of the patient, how much belief, because everything is based on belief. If you believe in something, and that things happens 100%.
Mhm.
So we try and create a belief with the patient for their disease or for their problem, and then we
Mhm.
start therapies.
Okay.
So it's
So,
100% personalized. Each and every
mhm.
patient has we give them a personalized therapies, personalized treatment, because
No, but
every patient varies.
okay, is it with the people who are who come with the mental issues, or the biological issues also? Like there may be a patient having, say, for example, a case of appendicitis, or some other case of biological issues a person may be facing, not the mental issues. So for those
See, we
patients also you do brain mapping.
we do brain mapping for every patient, every
Every
patient.
patient who walks in.
Yes, every patient who choose this line of treatment holistically, they want to cure their problem, whether it's mental problem, whether it's a physical problem, it's an emotional problem, anxiety, depression, or it's addiction. Every patient goes through this brain mapping.
Okay. Okay. ठीक है.
This is not just for the people, those who are going through mental issues, somebody who's mental. See, when we calm down the mind, and when we get into the habit of calming down the mind every day, so every day you're releasing good hormones, so the body automatically gets to the level of healing. So even if you are on medicines and you are doing the therapies, like let's say cancer patients, patients with kidney stones, patients with liver cirrhosis, So even if you are on medicines and you choose for this holistic healing therapies and all, the journey and the time, it automatically decreases for the healing. The life that you live as a life of a cancer patient is not a very easy life. It's not a cakewalk. That patient goes through immense stress, and the medicines, chemotherapy medicines, are so hard that it affects the body mentally and emotionally. So with these therapies and all, you you know the the journey that you walk through in curing your disease becomes very easy, very smooth.
Okay. And you also give your space for spiritual meetings, right? The
Yes.
whole.
So
Tell
we
us more.
do free meditation camps in our hospital, like once in a month, for free of cost, for people to
Okay.
come and join us and understand what is meditation. Because nowadays it is very important, because if you see, after COVID, we are already in a second pandemic, which is mental health. I think every person is almost, in today's world, that, once at least they say that I am getting anxiety, I'm getting anxiety, and I keep getting anxiety quite often. So meditation gives you, it actually connects you with your roots. If you read the ancient scriptures, if you read Rig Vedas and other Vedas, you will see that meditation used to be the essential part of our life the moment we used to get up in the morning.
So these camps are only for patients, or for anybody can come and
These
join?
camps we do. So this week, that the camp that we have is for pregnant ladies. So every
Acha.
month, yeah, some days we have it for
There is
general
a.
public also, these meditation
Okay.
camps.
Okay. Okay.
We also have
And yeah.
seconds for our staff also, so that they also get the essence of
So you,
meditation.
okay, you call people from outside
So we have
for
our
holding
own
the
team.
camps.
We have
Okay.
our own team who organizes the camp, and this
Acha.
department is headed by me personally, because
Acha.
meditation is something that is very close to my heart, and it's in my being, and it's also in my lifestyle. So every month we do meditation camps depending upon which audience we have to target. So this month we are doing meditation camp for the pregnant ladies, because in November, December, October, this is the season where we have most of the deliveries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about the space you rent out. I won't say give for free for holding the meeting, spiritual meeting of other organizations.
No, no, we don't do
Do
that.
that. You don't
No,
do
we
that.
don't do that. We don't. We do our own meetings, our own spiritual meetings, and that too for free of cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, tell me a little more about yourself. You said that meditation is your lifestyle, is in your lifestyle.
Yes, it is in my lifestyle. The moment I wake up, the first thing I do in the morning is that I do 1 hour meditation, which is compulsory for me to do it. Without doing it, I think I would not leave my room or
So, this
even
has
get out
come
of
to
my
you.
room.
This has come to you from your mom or your dad?
Well, our whole family is into meditation.
Okay.
My mother is the woman behind dragging the whole family into meditation, but I'm grateful that she did that to all of us.
Okay. So now we'll go back to the Prayag Hospital. Where do you see? Where do you want to take the Prayag Hospital to? What's your vision for that?
Well, I we see Prayag Group of Hospitals growing more in the Uttarakhand region and in the UP West and UP East region. We are coming up with more hospitals. And we are also coming up with more mental health clinics, because
Okay.
the growing demand of anxiety, depression in the
Hmm.
people has increased a lot. And we're also coming up with mental health clinics in UAE, and we're also coming up with mental health clinics in Uzbekistan.
Okay. Why these specific areas? UAE and Uzbekistan?
Well, because we got good opportunity there, and
Achha.
they understand the Indian healthcare system, the Indian traditions quite well. So
Hmm.
it was very easy for us to enter the market.
Okay. Okay. So would you like to give us some numbers like this many mental health clinics, this many hospitals would be coming up, say in next 5 years time?
Well, in the
Some.
next 5 years' time, we are
Mhm.
we have a target to create 5,000 jobs,
Okay.
out of which 1,000 jobs we have already created. And
Mm-hmm.
we plan to come up with three more hospitals in the next 5 years.
In Uttarakhand and UP
Yes,
taken together.
yes.
Okay. And mental health clinics.
Mental health clinics. We already have one in our Noida hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and wherever we have our hospitals, we have these clinics, and the specialized clinics that we are coming up with. We're coming up with three clinics in UAE and two clinics in Uzbekistan.
Okay. So coming to UP and Uttarakhand, since you are operating in these two states, tell us about about the mental health people facing mental health issues. Which area reports more, and why do you
See,
think that is the case?
there's no comparison that Uttarakhand has more or UP has more. It's
Mhm.
actually
Or the
everywhere
rural setting
it's
has more, or
increasing more.
urban setting has more?
See, urban, see, when we see urban city has more mental health issue, it is very similar to what the rural areas are also going through. So we can't say that urban has more,
Okay.
rural has less. No. Nowadays it's
Mm.
all same because, nobody thought that we all will be locked up in our houses
Mm.
during the COVID. And nowadays, everybody has this mobile phone addiction, social media addiction. And, to buy something, you want to buy something, you don't have to go out. One click, whether it's rural area or the urban area, everything is delivered to your home these days. So, when we see our patients, we see the number of patients we see in the urban cities.
Mm.
The similar number we see is in the rural areas of anxiety, depression, panic attacks.
Mm.
We see the similar amount of patients, whether it's rural or it's urban.
Okay, that's strange because normally this is the general thought is that rural people have less of mental health issues because of
No, if you
various
see,
reasons.
even in
Mm.
the rural area, the divorce cases has increased. In the rural areas, a lot of young generation they have left their families, they have left
Moved
their
out.
parents and
Mm.
living a life in a different rural area and a different urban area. So
Mm.
I think the urban cities has huge impact on the rural areas, and rural areas definitely want to copy the urban cities. So it's very similar. It's very
Okay.
similar. Nowadays, people lack a lot of patience,
Mm.
and whether it's urban cities or it's rural areas. So the mental health issues are same everywhere.
Mm. So you were like working with the hospitals day in, day out, 24/7 you are there. Uh, Apart from meditation, what do you do to keep yourself mentally sound, healthy, keep your sanity? Because I'm sure you must be seeing lot many kind of patients, and there may be patients who are terminal. terminally ill?
Well, the moment I get up, I usually get up by 5:30. And the moment I'm up, I do my 1 hour meditation. I do my journaling, and I make sure that the food that I'm eating, I'm more of a sattvic food eater. I
Okay.
practice energy, and I believe in energy, frequency, vibration, and auras and everything. There's always a
Mhm.
om chanting, always music going on in my office all the time.
Mhm.
So, if I talk about how I keep myself, the stress keeps coming and going.
Mhm.
The the main realization is that I don't hold on to that stress. I let go of it. I do
Okay.
meditation, and every day, even when I'm going off to sleep, I do 1 hour
Mhm.
meditation, and I sleep stress free. And so, yeah, to keep myself stress free every day, I have to work on myself. It's an everyday task.
So, as we come to an end of this session, I would ask you one question more. Since you're working in a sort of family setup, like you have your mother working in the same hospital, same group, your dad is there, have there been times where you crossed each other's paths, as in got at loggerheads with each other? Has it happened?
Yeah, this happens, because difference of opinion happens. People live in the same house, and
Mhm.
they have the same lifestyle, but still their mindset and their thought process is not same.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
whose
So
writ prevails?
sorry.
Whose writ prevails? Whose say prevails?
Well, I cannot precisely say who prevails more, but I try to balance it out. So we
Okay.
have, yeah, I try to balance it out because sometimes my mother prevails more and sometimes I prevails more. So it's a
Okay.
balance. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And your dad is now happy that
My
he
dad is
cleared
very
out
so he
with
works only
you,
for
like
3 hours now. Yeah.
that even
He's
though you're not a doctor, you're taking managing the entire hospital.
Oh yes, his entire belief system has changed.
Changed.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 So where do you see yourself, say, 10 years down the line? What would you be doing? What would Prayag be doing?
Well, I think as I told you, our target is to create more jobs. And to create more jobs, we need to create more hospitals.
Hmm.
Along with creating more hospitals, we are also advocate and lawyers for mental health. Because I personally believe that a good mental health can lead a very good life. And when people will lead a good life mentally, then the country will grow. So our for the our business plans for the next 10 years are not only to make more hospital but also to give back to the society.
Thank you so much, Preetika, for talking to us, and
Thank you so much.
all the best for your future. And I can only say that may your tribe of healthcare managers grow, because we definitely need more compassionate people who are not just about treating a person but healing a person.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.